Hi guys, happy to be back with one more video. This is one that we had pending from last weekend. We are going to be talking about the portfolio review, of course. And yeah, we still have a lot of submissions, but now I do have a little bit more time, so I can take my time and make sure you guys receive the best information possible. However, you guys know that we also have a very nice promotion with Skillshare, so check it out. Hey guys, Abraham here. I just want to remind you guys that we upload all of our courses to Skillshare. Skillshare is this amazing site where you can access a ton of different content to learn, improve, and grow as an artist. We have all of our courses available to watch and learn from right now in Skillshare. You can check the description down here, and Skillshare is offering one free month trial to their premium membership. With this membership, you're going to be able to access all of our courses and watch and learn all of the amazing things that we cover with all of the softwares. So, what are you waiting for? Check Skillshare down here below. There we go. So there's been a lot of things going on in the last past weeks. As you guys know, I went on vacation last week, and unfortunately, the job never ends. So once I got back, there was a lot of things that I had to get to, and yeah, we're moving forward. Now, last time we left off, we saw Jevon's portfolio. I believe that was the last one we saw. Oh, actually, okay. Oh, now I'm not really so sure. We did this. We did the. Let me double check real quick which one was the last one. Okay, so yeah, I just double checked, and the last one that we saw was Somya. But I don't see his portfolio right now. Where is it? I always modify this by last modified. There we go, Somya. So Kelvin, you're next, my friend. Kelvin Nascimento. If I miss anyone, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to go back to you guys. But I'm pretty sure we're right here. So it says, "Hi Abraham. Hope you are well. I am. Thank you very much. I would like to know your opinion about having a mixed portfolio." Okay. I really like the market for collectibles, 3D printing, etc. However, I also really like stylized characters, and I've been studying the pipeline for games. Do you think it's possible to keep both styles in the portfolio? Yes, that's perfectly fine. Let's take a look. Ooh, this is nice, man. This is not bad. Brazil, I knew it. I knew it. I mean, your last name kind of gave it away, but there's a lot of talent in Brazil. From like the past several years that I've been studying 3D, I've realized that there's like hubs all around the world that started like popping out with talent and stuff. And Brazil is one of them. People don't really know about, or at least until you're inside of the industry, you don't really know. But there's a lot of talent. Like there's a really talented people from Brazil, and they're really good at character modeling. I'm not sure if it's because of the teachers or of the like the curriculum or something, but it's really good. This is nice. I really like this. He looks really nice for like a collectible 75mm scale. That's fine. My only suggestion: pose it. Just give it a little bit of a pose because this is very like traditional T pose or B pose kind of looking thing. So it's a really nice model. Anatomy looks okay, or actually it looks really nice, really good. There's a weird line right there. Oh, it's the pants, right? He's wearing like really tight pants. I think they're a little bit too tight. If those are pants, I think they're a little bit too tight. I would maybe loosen them up just a little bit, so that you don't think, because I thought at first this was anatomy. I'm not sure if it's anatomy or if it's like skin wrinkles or scars or something, but that line there looks a little bit weird. ZBrush now has this stager thing. You might want to check that one out. We also mentioned that one on the 3D printing course that I released a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, that's a nice model. I like it. Collectibles are one of those things, guys, that haven't like really like pushed the industry in a good way in the last couple of years. I remember a friend of mine, he used to be a sculptor. He is still a sculptor, of course, but he used to work for like, it wasn't Sideshow, it was another one. Then the industry kind of started declining when 3D printing came around. So people are no longer buying as many like big statues, and now they're like just building miniatures and printing them themselves. This one, I think this is not as strong. I know this is a 1/4 scale, so it's supposed to be like quite big. I think the armor looks a little bit too plasticky, softy. So the armor doesn't look like metal, doesn't read as metal. The hard surface things like here on the bracers and on some of the shoulder, I don't love it. I think it could get improved. See, it looks like clay. Having support edges and having like really sharp edges on the armor might be a better idea there. Also, careful with rings. I don't know if you've already printed this one or not, but printing like this really thin rings is always difficult. That's why you usually see more like a thick, like a welded together rings. But yeah, the rock also, give it another shot to the rock, because this one looks a little bit too I like to call this like a meatball. It's just like alphas and just like blobs and stuff. If you're having issues with that, remember guys, there's a lot of free stuff on the internet that you can access. Quixel is one of them, and Quixel has this mega scans. So it's totally fair game to go here, and as long as the things are free to use, you can just grab any sort of like rock formation and it's gonna be there. I mean, why model it if it's already there and it's free to use? Of course, don't say that you did it. You need to credit wherever you got it from. But yeah, the face looks great. I love dwarves. Dwarves are my favorite race in fantasy. This is pretty cool. Base looks way better. Anatomy is really nice. I love this dynamic poses. Yeah, I like this one. That one's pretty cool. And this is Dr. Fate from DC. Very nice as well. Yeah, I mean, these 4 pieces are great. They definitely tell me that you're going more into the sort of collectibles thing, or collectible side of things, which is fine. If you want to add stylized characters as well, it's perfectly fine. I know that there's a feature here inside of ArtStation where you can have like folders. So you could have one for like 3D sculpting and another one for characters. They are a little bit different processes. You know that, right? Because when you do a character for a game, retopology has to be taken into consideration, UV maps, textures, and all that kind of stuff. For this one, it's usually just like basic materials that you throw in, and the most important thing is that the sculpture looks cool. But you do have all the necessary tools to go there, man. So just check some of those like little details, like the metal that I mentioned. Another thing that I might suggest is I really like the render that you did right here. Maybe investing a little bit of time into rendering like information just to showcase them in a more of a cinematic way might be cool. Like a couple of more lights here and there to really show that. I'm not sure where you're doing the render. I'm not sure if it's like ZBrush or it's Blender. Okay, Blender is fine. Blender can give you some really nice results. Yeah, throw in maybe like an HDR or something to make it pop a little bit more. I really like. From this one, like my favorite render is this one because it's very clean. This one's look a little bit dirty in the lightning scenario. Like I don't see as much like light contrast, and that's personal. That it doesn't mean that these are wrong. I'm just saying from my personal like things that I like to show on my renders is like high contrast on my renders on my render light. But this is a great job, man. Congratulations, Kelvin. Congratulations. Let's go now with Shaina Milde. Hi Abraham, my name is Shaina. I am currently a 3D student in my 4th semester, specializing in the areas CGI, 3D interactive, and game design. Right now, I'm applying at studios for an internship, but unfortunately, I was rejected by most of them so far. That's completely normal, don't worry. I'll talk about that one, that point. I want to get professional feedback on it, as I'm starting to fear that my portfolio might be the problem. My focus was applying to game dev studios so far, but I'm also applying for other 3D studios. My work section includes most of the projects that I have done as final projects for university, and my study section includes some work that I did in my free time. Let's take a look. Okay. Let's see. Red Hill, game design. Okay. I'll just play this real fast. Oh, cool. So this is kind of like some sort of like Minecraft farming simulator. That's pretty nice. Okay. Minimalistic. War of Cells. Okay. Pyro simulation in Houdini. You know Houdini. I've never like learned Houdini. That is one of my my eventual dream projects to learn about Houdini. See, the thing about this one, I mean, it's not bad. The pyro simulation looks cool, but the thing is, I know this is an exercise, right? So as you mentioned, it's a project that you did. So someone told you how to do it. It looks very nice. I mean, it's fine. But you need, I always tell you guys this, you guys need to use the information that you got from here and create your own stuff to showcase that you learned the process and not that you only copy the steps, right? So my suggestion, if simulation is one of the things that you might want to do, try doing, I don't know, like some guy launching a Hadouken or like a fireball or something, using the concepts that you learn with this exercise. Hand animation, let's take a look. Okay, yeah, this animation, I would probably take it out of your portfolio, and the reason is it's the render is it's okay, but the movement of the hand it's really like robotic, right? So unless you want to go into animation, you usually don't add stuff into your portfolio that's not the thing that you want to work for. So I think well, you did mention you had studies as well. There you go. Okay, so this one looks a little bit better. So my initial impression from this one, as I mentioned, is this house is fine as a portfolio piece. These are a little bit too simplistic. I might leave this one right here. If you did everything, like if you did the programming and the modeling and the animations and everything, then I will leave it because it's good to know that you know the whole process. War of Cells, I haven't even looked at it, but it looks like a 2D work. So it's like Unity 2D, right? So yeah, you need to definitely decide what kind of work you want to do, Shaina. It could be that you want to do like if you want to work for a game studio, there's only like two main areas. Either you go into art or you go into programming. Unless you're working in a really small studio, like my studio right here, right now the one that we're working for the museum and stuff, Hyperlab. The three artists that are working with me right now, they are both working a little bit of everything. So they know a little bit of coding, they know a little bit of art, they know a little bit of even like voice acting and stuff like that. We have to do everything because we're a small studio. But if you're going for a big studio, then that definitely means that you need to specialize. And right now this tells me that you have a little bit more experience with a 3D because I only see two games and I see 4 3D pieces. So I would probably encourage you to go there. Now, this one looks really good, this Japanese garden. The question is, did you do everything? You did. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So you did use a couple of things. It seems here that you use Megascans. If you use Megascans for everything and you only model the cherry blossom tree, that's where people might be like, this is a little bit suspicious, right? Because if you do know how to do the tree, the ideal thing would be to do every other single thing so that you can showcase that you're mastered this process. The lightning scenario could get a little bit more work as well because it's a little bit like maybe a little bit of a depth of field or changing the camera angle might work. This composition, it's not the best. I would probably take a look at that one. And this magic potion looks good. This is a nice asset. It's clean. It's fun. Nice particle effect there. So yeah, I know that it's always very discouraging when you send your portfolio to studios and they're like, no, we're not interested right now, or we don't have any open positions or whatever. I do think, especially since you mentioned that during your 4th semester right now, right? You mentioned that over here. Yeah, so you've been at this for 2 years, and throughout these 2 years, roughly, you've learned a lot of stuff, right? Usually at the 2-year mark is where my students start getting like actually good at 3D, and that's when they start doing better projects, and that's when those better projects can open doors for you. I wouldn't discourage you from like I would tell you keep on sending stuff to the studios, of course, but we need to be realistic. We're not gonna be sending our portfolio to I don't know Naughty Dog or Riot right now because the level that they expect from artists is way higher. Now I know that you're looking for an internship, so there might be a position there for internships, but try to look for like smaller studios or studios that specialize a little bit more into the style that you want to go for, the sort of like minimalistic, more simplified style. And I think that could be good. And also, again, my best suggestion for you, Shaina, is try to focus on something. Don't try to do everything because, especially for big studios, you're always going to be doing like one specific task. So it's easier to be really good at something, and that's going to open some doors for you as well. So yeah, thank you, Shaina. Thank you for submitting and keep on working. Make sure to watch our tutorials. All of the ones that we have in YouTube. There's a lot of content. I've been recording for the past almost a year now, so I know that it's a lot of time. But if you're really going to the ones that you find most interesting and follow the exercises, you're also going to be learning quite a bit. But you need to do the exercises. Let's go with Nikhil Prabhupada. Problem. Okay, he says, hi Abraham, my name is Nikhil Prabhupada. I'm from India. I'm learning rigging from your course. Thank you. I went to the control set of the character. I'm stuck in skinning process. I don't get how too much influence I need to add at a particular area of mesh version. Oh, okay, let's see. Scenes. Let's download this guy. Yeah, so as I mentioned, guys, sometimes for this portfolio reviews, I'm also open to helping you guys with this sort of stuff. Like if there's a file or something that you want to like check out, just let me know and I'll be happy to open it, Maya, ZBrush, Marvelous, Unreal, whatever I might be helpful, and then we'll take a look. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to like finalize all of the weights here, but I'll show you guys some like basic stuff. Cool, yeah, that's nice. Nice. Clean, nice. Okay, so here's how it works. Every single bone in your character will move a specific sets of vertices, right? So if we move this right here, that one's moving relatively fine, actually. It's not bad. Let's move it from the clavicle. Okay, so here's where we're gonna have some stuff. So as you can see right now, when we move this thing right here, the bone is not moving all of the vertices on this particular area, right? So what you want to do is you of course want to select your geometry, go into rigging, skin, and then paint skin weights. Double click here, and let's look for like the right or left clavicle. There we go. So here's the left clavicle, and this is the clavicle that you're going to be using. There's unfortunately, painting weights is one of those like tedious processes of the rigging world, but there's a couple of things that you can do to help you with the process. First of all, smooth. Smooth is a really nice tool, because as the name implies, it will smooth the skin weights, and it will allow you to soften up some of these elements right here. So my best advice whenever you're skinning a character is grab the area that you want to work on. For instance, right now it's the clavicle, right? Let me rotate this back to 0. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a keyframe to the clavicle and then move it, let's say 20 frames, and rotate the clavicle to roughly the position that it's going to get, which is about there. Like the clavicle usually doesn't rise more than this. Because after that, you're going to, of course, raise the arm, right? So once you get the clavicle there, you go into your paint skin weights and see like, okay, you know what? Like this thing right here needs a little bit more weight. So I'm going to go to add weights, and I'm going to start with a small value such as 0.1 or 0.15. And now if I start clicking, as you can see, I'm going to be adding sometimes even less than this, like 0.05. Let's go. And this is going to start adding volume, of course, to the clavicle and a little bit to the neck, for instance. And then smooth. Smooth. A lot of smooth. There's other tools online, by the way. There's one called NG Skin Tools. You might want to check that one out. And that's a little plugin that you can use to help you on the skinning process. But yeah, unfortunately, skinning is one of those things in the rigging process that's really tedious. And the best way to do it is just exactly like I'm doing right here. You select the controller, you move it around, and then you check how the thing is deforming. For instance, here, I can see that this is deforming way too much. That means that the arm has way too much influence, or the clavicle has way too much influence. So I need to go to the spine, something like spine 4, there we go, and I start adding weight to the spine, so that all of these vertices start going towards this point right here. Maybe I need to be a little bit more aggressive. Let's start with adding. See that? So see how we start getting the nice color right there? It's pretty much like pushing and painting. Some people like to use the Wacom tablet, by the way, because I'm not sure if it has sensitivity, but it's a little bit easier than going with with a lot of clicks. And then we smooth. Now, one of the things that they don't tell you about skinning and rigging is that it will also depend on the kind of character that you're going to do. If this character is going to be a soldier and he's never going to be raising the arms like this because he's never going to jump a lot, then you're perfectly fine. And just by having like this sort of like movement right here, like maybe this is the maximum amount of arm raise that he's going to have, and that looks fine. Might be a little bit too much, but we can easily just like push it back with the controller. Again, unfortunately, my friend, that's the process. You did a really good job, by the way. Like this is looking really nice. That's looking really nice. I don't think you're that far off. You might be a little bit frustrated by the fact that it takes a long time to do so. But congratulations, man. You did a great job on the rigging. I'm always scared about that class because a lot of people are really like they are very scared of rigging. They don't like rigging. It's unfortunately it's again a tedious process. But you did a great job. Like look at this rig, amazing. Yeah, this is really good, man. You're doing really good. So yeah, just if you have any problematic areas, just go there and try adjusting them little by little. Now Maya does have something here. I haven't used it as much, but Maya has this thing called. Where was it? It's this sort of like I think it's this influences or something. I need to check it out because there's a way to add some sort of like extra deformers to help you with areas that become like really problematic. Like this one right underneath here. Like you can add something that when this arm pushes up, that volume goes inside of the character. But again, as I mentioned, you're doing a great job. Now another thing, this is something that I think I did mention it on the course, but just so that you guys are aware. Once you model your own character, you're just gonna realize how problematic or not certain areas are. For instance, when I finished this model, I realized that this area is a little bit problematic. So the best thing would be to actually go to the model and do a little bit of a change here in the red topology. Just add 1 or 2 more loops so that when we raise the arm, it's not as complicated. Also, since this was a game character when I did the soldier course, we did talk about this. In games, there's a lot of overlap, and it's perfectly fine because we can't waste too much like resources into making sure that this is not like fine. But yeah, like that overlap, my God, that's great. That looks perfect. Perfect, perfect. So congratulations, man. You did a great job. I don't have anything else to say. Nice job. That was Nikhil. But let's go with Ed Zulia. Ed, let's take a look. Hi there, my name is Ed, and I'm just finishing my 3rd year at university studying games art. Nice. Throughout uni, we were taught pretty much exclusively environmental art, but in my 3rd year, I decided to move towards character and creatures. It's my goal to have business selling assets for 3D printing, for wargaming, display, etc. So I would love for you to have a look at my portfolio. Of course, I'm not sure, you probably are aware that we just released a 3D printing class that you might be interested in, which is where we did this, this statue right here, Gavala. So I show you the whole process, anatomy, everything. You might want to check it out. It's I think it's really cool. I'm really proud of that one. That class was really fun to do, and I think the result is really nice. Okay, cool. This is pretty cool. I love this. I had a teacher in school. His name is Miguel Ortega. You guys might want to check him out. And he does a lot of like this super creepy stuff as well. So this is very nice. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I like it. I mean, it's a game asset from what I can tell. Meaning that the amount of triangles and stuff that you use is a little bit low. For this sort of stuff, I mean, if you want to go for games, which it seems like that's what you've been taught, that's fine. But this guy would look amazing as a collectible. So if you still have the high poly, try doing it at a higher resolution and you're going to be great. Because this looks really nice. I really like that character. This is the same one, right? Okay, yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's a great character. That's a great portfolio piece. I would actually advise that you remove this guys over here and just keep the little creepy guy. This one's anatomy on the face needs a little bit of work. I'm probably gonna see it over here. And then let's take a look at this. This one looks cool though. Yeah, this looks nice. For game environment, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's a nice piece. I would keep that one. Yeah, okay, so we've talked about this before. You probably already heard that, but sketches are fine, but I try to keep these things on my Instagram or Facebook page because you don't want to have this sort of like incomplete or quick stuff on your professional portfolio. I know that you might have added them just to add more pieces, but the anatomy on the face, as I mentioned on this one and on this one, not the greatest. We can still improve that one. There's a couple of like forms and things that are not as clear, and that's making it a little bit weird. If that's what you went for, like this sort of like cartoony, like a deformed thing, then that's fine. But I don't think they're really helping because you did this amazing creature, very realistic creature, and it would look better just by showcasing this one right here. So I would probably take this one out of your portfolio, my friend, and just keep this too and the mushrooms and add more. If character is what you want to do, a normal human, like a male face, a female face, those are like mandatory things for your portfolio to have. So make sure to add them. If you can here on your site as well. Cool. Let's go now with our next submission, which was Cedric Francisco. Where are you from? Francisco is a very Spanish name. French, nice. Hi, first of all, thank you for your courses and your portfolio reviews. You really help us a lot. You are welcome, my friend. I always try to be as helpful as possible with this content. I am Cedric. I'm a French student, actually at my 3rd year of my Bachelor of Game Design. I'm looking for a character artist internship. I began modeling characters this year, but unfortunately, as I'm the only one who wants to become character artist in my school, I can't really have feedbacks or tips, so you give me this opportunity. Yeah, of course. I'll help you. Yeah, characters. The problem with character art is that when you think about the game, for instance, God of War, I can see that there's a Kratos in here. If you think about God of War, there's probably going to be, at most, 100 characters, including enemies and stuff. Like, roughly, maybe 200, I don't know. But the thing is that they're few compared to the amount of work that environment, props, and all of the other things in the game has to do, animations and everything. So, when I was at school, our teachers told us, hey, if you want to be a character artist, just be sure to be really good, because it's kind of like being a rock star, or kind of being like the lead singer of a band. You only need one lead singer, but you might need 4 or 5 people playing instruments, right? So there's a lot of competition for character artists. I myself am a character artist, but I don't do, like, I do character work, but I do a lot of other work as well. So even though I specialize in characters as well, I have to grab works from some other places sometimes, because there's just not enough character work out there. So just keep that in mind. But so far, from what I can tell, this is looking good. One of the first things I always look for aspiring character artists is the proportions, and your proportions are looking quite nice. The definition of your muscles is a little bit lacking is a strong word, but it needs to be a little bit more defined. Especially Kratos, he's like a really really strong dude, so we would need to see like where the muscles bulge and insert. I'm not sure how you did the beard. It kind of looks like a fiber mesh from ZBrush, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so topology wise, you're missing a very very important loop that goes from the chest to the shoulder. This is how I was taught to do things, and I've been doing that for so long that it just always works for me, which is this one right here. Here. So you can see how there's a line going here in the pectoral muscle and goes around the shoulder, kind of like a cape. This allows for better deformation when you raise the arms. Nowadays, especially with like really high poly count characters, that's not as important. But yeah, this flow right here, it's a little bit too intense. You want to avoid that sort of stuff. Again, proportions are good, which is always an issue. Your prop work is also not bad. We could definitely define some things a little bit better. I applaud the fact that you went in and did all of the props because it's definitely difficult. The hair definitely needs some work. We just released the hair creation for game scores not so long ago. You might want to check that one out for either hair cards or for like realistic hair. We also do a little bit of that. So yeah, that's a nice one. Textures look good though. I like the texture work. It's a nice like natural or realistic looking colors. And your bigs seem to be doing well as well. The axe needs a little bit more work. The runes, I think, are not as impactful. Baby Groot. Always cool to see Baby Groot. Okay, nice render. Is this Marmoset, right? I'm guessing this is Marmoset. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a simple model. I would say Baby Groot's not one of like the hardest models out there. But yeah, it's a well executed one. I like it. A little bit dense on the topology side of things. I think you could definitely make him a little bit like a little bit thinner. The silhouette is very plain as well. Remember that whenever we're dealing with like very like abstract looking creatures like this guy, having layers is very important. So if you take a look at the silhouette, it's always like a cylinder, right? It's important to push and pull things in and out of the silhouette so that he looks a little bit more interesting. I know that the little like roots are helping with that sort of stuff, but like changing the way plates work would also be very beneficial. Textures look good. It seems like you do have a nice like a nice understanding of textures, which is really nice. Okay, this is going a little bit into the uncanny valley side of things. The cloth is amazing. Did you use Marvelous? Yes. So the cloth looks nice. Perfect. Like I wouldn't change a thing about the cloth. Maybe the patterns here don't align as much. Just small little like detail. Again, the proportions are good. Your proportions are really nice, which is really important. But we need to work on the face, on the details of the face, because her face is on the uncanny valley side of things, and the hair also needs quite a bit of work. If you're not sure about hair, which is it's very common for character artists, I myself included. That's why most of my characters are bald. If you're not good at hair and you don't want to spend the time on a character for the hair, what I would suggest is either pick a hairstyle that's really, really easy to do, or go for bald head using a helmet, using a hat, bandages, anything that covers the head and hides the hair will save you time and will make your character look nice, okay? I don't recommend doing this for all of your characters. You do need to know how to do hair. I'm not sure. My portfolio is not the best example because I'm the worst at portfolios because I haven't uploaded mine or updated mine in a long time. Yeah, like I don't actually have hair. Like I have some hair for this guy right here, and then I have some hair for her, which is like sculpted hair, and then I did some more sculpted hair over here, and I haven't updated my portfolio, but I've done more hair. You guys have seen some of my stuff, right? So you do need to show that you know how to do hair, but if you don't feel comfortable and you have a strong piece like this girl right here, might be a good idea to get rid of this and just add bandages. I mean, she's in the hospital, so it works with the storytelling aspect of it. Inner Fire is your student project. Okay, this look cool. I like them. Really, really nice. This render, I don't like it, but this one looks really good. I don't know what changed here, but this one looks really nice. Like this real-time render, I can see this guy in the game, and he would look pretty cool. Oh, you rigged him? Nice. Yeah, this is really good, really strong foundation. And since he's a monster, you can go with this, like, not a lot of anatomy and stuff. It looks very nice. I love it. The eyes could get a little bit more work. Where are you rendering this? Marmoset. But that's shader stuff. Someone else would do that on the engine probably to make it look more like crystal. But this is pretty cool. The amount of polygons looks good. I like this one. I really like this one. I think from all of this is my favorite so far. And a Wanda Maximoff fan art. Again, proportions are good. Still need to work on the face. There was a course that was released. I'm not sure if it was last year or 2 years before that. It's the one with Anthony Hopkins. I've mentioned this one before. The guy who teaches it, part of the Next to team also, he's really good. So I strongly recommend you check that one out because it's a really cool course, and you're gonna be able to match the likeness a lot better. Again, your cloth is really nice. I know that you're using Marvelous Designer. That's great. Hair needs a little bit of work. It looks very flat. The cards are not breathing as nicely. Check the hair card course. I wish I could give you guys like some promo code or something. But check the hair card course because I teach you how to do like really nice haircuts, and you might not even need to like redo this. If you just change the textures with the method that I teach you, this might look even better. So give it a shot. And yeah, like maybe work a little bit on the face because she's on the uncanny side of things. Also on the Marmoset course that I did last year, I teach a way to do realistic eyes for games. A nice little trick there. You might want to check that one out as well. But yeah, congratulations, Cedric. I think you're doing a good job, and this is what I meant. Like you're at your 3rd year, so that's when things start looking more and more polished. You get more experience. I've mentioned this before. I started my 3D journey in 2011. That's when I left medicine school and started 3D. And I was fortunate enough to get a job at the studio like literally 3 months after I'd started my 3D like studies. Because at that time, like 10 years ago, no one really knew 3D. So as long as you knew how to move inside of Maya and create like a table or a hammer, you were good to go. And that's how I started. But my real strong work started until 2015. So that was 4 years after I started my 3D journey. That's when I started creating pieces that were really good, and I started getting some notices, I started getting notice and stuff. So yeah, it took some time to get there. It definitely took some time to get there. So don't be impatient. Do it or get yourself enough time and make sure to practice. Wow, we're already at the 31-minute mark. But don't worry, I mentioned that this was going to be a long video. So I'm going to finish all of this, guys. I'm just going to take a quick pause here. It's going to be just a small jump for you, and we'll continue. Very well, let's go now with Jasmine. Jasmine. Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm a 3D artist specializing in stylized assets for games and animation. My work is here. Oh. Let's take a look at Jasmine's. One of my best friends here in Mexico. Her name is Jasmine as well. Nice. Nice. Oh, Jasmine, you have the artwork that I would love to have. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I love realistic stuff, but I also like really appreciate stylized stuff, and this looks really nice. Is this the Blender Donuts? Yes. I would, I mean, this is one of those cases that I would say it's okay to keep, just because everyone has done this tutorial. Like every single person that learns Blender has done this tutorial. So usually I tell people don't add a tutorial piece on your portfolio, because if people realize that that's a tutorial piece, then they're gonna like not take it into account. But this is such a famous tutorial that it's kind of like a meme, and it kind of like, oh, that was her result. So I don't know, since everyone has done it, it kind of feels like something that joins all of the artist community together. This is nice. Nice clean clock. That's one of the exercises that I used to teach back in the day. Nice, simple, clean, topology-wise. Perfect. That's great. I love this one. It's you in different styles, right? Where are you from? New Orleans. Nice. Not so far from here. This one looks really nice. This hair, amazing. This is what I was mentioning for Cedric. Layering. This is the layering thing that we want. Like we want things to go up, down in different depths of your character, and that's gonna really match. Okay, so here's one thing. It doesn't match the style as much. Okay, here's where you have to be really careful, Jasmine. If you're following a concept, you want to copy. It's not that we want to copy the concept perfectly. Sometimes clients will ask you that, but it's more about like capturing the essence of the concept. And you did it perfectly fine with the eyes, with the nose, the piercing, the lips, all of that perfect. But on the hair, one little detail that I noticed, and everyone's gonna notice, is the fact that the bun is way too big. See that? So this is like half or like 1/3 of this big bundle of hair right here. And here it's pretty much 1-on-1, 1-to-1, okay? So that's the kind of thing that we need to develop our eye. Like, okay, in the concept, this one's smaller. I'm going to make mine smaller. You might have decided when you were presenting or preparing this work that you wanted to have more like impact or something, but it changes the way it feels. It changes the way the piece feels. So this is the one thing that I would like change for this one. It's a great job nonetheless. This one's pretty good. This one's a lot closer, as you can see. Like, I don't see a lot of variation. Maybe her face seems a little bit slender. This one seems a little bit more puffy. But all of the detail, like the essence, it's there. The essence is totally there. Quite heavy on topology. This would be for like a commercial or like a cinematic. This, I mean, it could be for a game as well. Nowadays, games have like really high resources. Yeah, I like this one. This one's fun. The way you capture the eyes, that's great. That anime, not animation, it's more like a cartoon stylized. It's really nice. Nice. Maybe inflate this a little bit. Remember that thin surfaces can get complicated to retopo and stuff. Nice. A voodoo priestess. Nice. Yeah, that's a great one. See, this is nice. But since you've been doing such clean models, or since I've seen so many clean models on your portfolio, I would probably not add dirt to this one. I would keep it really clean, like in line with your style, because you have a really clean style. So maybe it will look a little bit better being completely clean. This is pretty cool. I've seen this one. Is this a tutorial as well? I don't remember if I've seen this one as a tutorial, but I've seen this sort of like barrels. It's very good though. Very nice, very cartoonish, very World of Warcraft. I love it. Nice. You have a really strong portfolio, Jasmine. I think you're ready to apply to studios and to other places. Whoa, one thing that I noticed. Okay, so yeah. So see this thing right here? That thing that you're seeing right there, that's the normal map not being able to capture all of the silhouette of your element because you probably went a little bit too low poly with this guy. Yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah, you went for 2K silhouette. That's fine, but I would probably bring this all the way up to like 4K or 5K, and you would be completely fine. I know that definitely increases the amount of resolution, but this is such a nice model that I think it deserves it. It deserves to have the extra little polygons on the rings, especially on the rings. Everything else looks really nice, but the rings could benefit from having just a little bit more topology so that you could catch the normal map detail better. This is, chef's kiss. Beautiful UV map. I hope some of my students did it this way because this is one of the things that I always have issues with, like making sure that they spend the time to make sure everything is as nice as possible. This is a beautiful normal map, and bake. This is just really good. Yeah, congratulations, Jasmine. You're in a really good position. Now I'm gonna tell you something, and this might be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, but you're in the United States, and the United States is one of the most competitive market for this kind of stuff. So I think you do have a lot of chances, but don't get lazy or don't get comfortable. You need to keep your game up there because there's a lot of competition in the U.S. Other countries, like here in Mexico, and I know in Asia and stuff, since 3D is still it's a growing industry, while in the United States it's already established. We have a little bit more leeway. There's a lot more opportunities that you can get, and even if your level is not up to the highest level, you're still gonna get a work or a job. In the United States, you need to be really good if you want to go into the top studios. So you definitely have the potential. Don't waste it. Keep working, keep practicing. Let's go now with Liav Verba. That's a name I've never seen before. Greetings, my name is Liav. Hopefully I'm reading that right. And I enjoyed listening to your review feedback and insight. I just started taking Maya classes to learn 3D about a month ago. Okay. My goal is to specialize in 3D hard surface modeling. I'm very new to the whole 3D world. That's fine. I do not currently have any meaningful work to show you, but I would love to get some comments on some questions. Of course. Would you recommend that I continue learning Maya before moving on to learning other 3D programs such as Unreal and ZBrush? Can I learn Maya and Unreal simultaneously, or should I learn them one at a time? That's a great question. Learning, at the end of the day, it's all about time. Like, how much time can you invest into something, right? If you ask me what are the two main things that you might need to master for that thing that you say, which is 3D hard surface modeling, Maya, or any sort of like DCC applications, just 3D Studio Max, Blender, or whatever. If you've chosen Maya, that's fine. Maya is a great software to do so. And ZBrush. ZBrush has really strong hard surface tools. We do have a course about that one as well if you want to check it out. And it's definitely like, I would probably learn those two simultaneously so that you can like bring things from one place to the other and create some amazing artwork. Unreal, I would leave it until later because Unreal, it's more for game deployment. You don't really need that as much if you only want to be a hard surface modeler. But it's a nice thing to have. How many hours per week would you recommend I spend learning Maya in order to be able to produce a professional looking 3D model? Ooh, that's a great question. When I first started learning 3D, I went like full on 3D mode. Like I was doing probably like 50, 60 hours a week for 3 years. I was lucky enough that my parents were able to support me. They were paying for my rent and stuff like that, food, all of that. Like I didn't have to work. I was doing like students. I was studying full time. I know that that's not the reality for everyone. My best advice, if you're struggling with time and you need something, I would say try to at least watch 1 hour of tutorials or learn 1 hour of content every day if possible, and then practice another hour. Like if you can dedicate 2 hours of 3D every day, you're gonna be learning quite a bit, like really really fast. And I'm gonna show you like a really nice example. Let's say I want to do like a fluid simulation. Like I don't know about fluid simulation. I want to learn it in Blender. If I look fluid simulation Blender, there's this one. Okay, so it's a 14-minute tutorial about this guy, and it's MantaFlow for beginners, and he teaches you how to do a coffee like spilling. Okay, I can watch the tutorial and I can do this thing, and then this is the important part, and then I'm gonna do something else. Like, okay, I've already learned this. How can I apply this to something that's not being taught? Well, what if I try to do like a faucet from a bathroom or from the kitchen, opening it and getting like water to pour out? Technically, if I get this to work the way he's supposed to teach this on this video, I should be able to do that other exercise. And that's the one that I would use for my portfolio or for my proof of concept or for my web. Because again, as I mentioned, using your tutorials is not usually the best thing. So try to at least work 2 hours a day, especially if you want to take this seriously. If you want to really, really take it seriously, the more time you can spend, the better, of course. My classes when I was at school usually were 3 hour long. I had a class every day, usually. And for each hour of class that you had, the teacher expected you to do another hour of work. So that means that we had like 3 hours of, let's say, human anatomy sculpting. We would then go home and do our homework, and it should take us about 3 hours of doing the whole thing. So by the end of the day, you at least had to work 6 hours every day. And that's how I was able to get good in relatively small time, which was like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, the more time you can spend, of course, is always the better. I would suggest at least 1 hour or two. I'm currently taking classes at a 2-year community college. Would you recommend pursuing a bachelor's degree for an additional 2 years? It's always depending on the situation. I never feel comfortable saying people, hey, you go and pay for a university, because I know so many people with success stories where they learned everything by themselves from like literally YouTube or tutorials like ours. So I wouldn't say the bachelor's degree is necessary, but I would definitely say it is useful. So one of the things that you learn in the university is connections. Like you get to know teachers, other students and stuff. You learn habits. You learn about yourself, how far you can push yourself. So there are things that you learn when you're at university that are really, really useful. But that doesn't mean that it's the only way. So if, again, time constraint, money constraint, location constraint, any kind of things are making it difficult, don't think that that's gonna make it impossible. It's just you're gonna need to find the best way possible. If you can afford it and you can go for it. And I'm not sure how old you are, or if you're still really young. If you're like 16, 17, 18, I would say go for it. It's because college is always like a very nice experience, right? Like, you're in community college right now, so having friends and going out and stuff like that, that's also part of life, right? So if you can do it and you can afford it, go for it. If time is of the essence and you need to get really good at 3D really fast, then maybe skip it and try to focus only on the things that you know are gonna get you closer to the job that you're looking for. But yeah, I think that's it for your questions, my friend. Hopefully I've answered them. And good luck. Good luck on your journey. I'll look forward to seeing your portfolio in a couple of months. Let's go now with Ahmad Hassan. There we go. Hi Abraham, how are you doing? Well, I'm a very shy guy. I don't show my work for feedback because my mind thinks about what a professional artist is going to say. This kind of stuff always runs in my mind. I want to be a character artist, so I did some characters. As you can see in my portfolio. What's the next steps you want to look at? Okay, before we jump onto the portfolio, I want to talk about this thing right here, because I am the same. I always felt like really scared about showing my stuff to the world, because you see the amazing things that other people do, and then you're like, oh, I'm nowhere near close, and that's a little bit of imposter syndrome. Here's the thing. Usually the things that we learn, like all of the 3D, not everyone in the world knows it. So the way I like to like feel a little bit better about myself is I think about my cousins that are still really little, and I know that if I show them something, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's super cool. I like it. I want to have it or whatever." So yes, if you compare your work to the top artists, then of course you're gonna feel bad, or of course you're gonna feel like it's not enough. But don't think that that's the kind of work that people want. There's a lot of work out there, and it doesn't always have to be like at the perfectionist level. Sometimes a good enough work is it's good enough. So don't be too shy about it. Sharing is it's getting you one step closer to getting noticed, and that's what we all want. And I'm not sure what you're mentioning about being shy. You have really nice work here. Like first impression, everything looks really really nice. There's a couple of them I will probably take out. I'm gonna tell you why in just a second. Like look, this Baymax that you did here, that's really clean. Proportions seem very very close to the source. I would just add a wireframe. A wireframe is important to know that, or to tell, or to show people that your work is looking nice. This I will probably take out. The environment here looks a little bit like not complete, right? And some of the texture work, some of the light work, it's not great. It just look like they kind of just look like boxes with textures on top of them. And I know you're probably like very Oh, okay, okay. Well, you do specify that this is for a low polymorphic games. Still, I think you have better things, so I'll probably take that one out. And also, since you said you want to be a character artist, oh nice, you're from Pakistan. Since you said you want to be a character artist, that's environment. So you don't want anyone to see that and say, hey, I want to hire you, but I want you to do environments. That's not what you want to do, right? So don't give them the option. This is a really nice robot. I like it. Nice. Okay, so it's not your concept, but that's fine. You credit the artist. It's perfectly great. And he does look quite nice. I'll probably pose him because he looks a little bit stiff right here, and you can see that the artist on the element here, he did give it a little bit more like life. So I'll probably just pose it. But other than that, it's good. Also, oh, you remember we've talked. I've mentioned this so many times in the portfolio reviews. Whenever you're using the metal edgeware, make sure to add some sort of multiply with the dirt or something, so that you don't get this sort of like detail where every single part of the edge is weathered down. That's not how it happens in the real world. You're always gonna have parts that are gonna be a little bit more weathered and parts that are not gonna be as weathered. This is nice. That stroke, cool. Yeah, you have a good hang on proportions, my friend. And you have this very nice like tune style as well, which is that's fine. Yeah, this is a nice one. Again, wireframes. We need to see wireframes because your models look good, but until we see the wireframe, we're not sure if they're like perfectly fine or not. Bimo from Adventure Time. Nice. You can follow concepts. I mean, you're in great shape, man. You do have some nice stuff. This is where things start getting a little bit wonky. When was this submitted? Last month. Okay. Yeah, so the cloth looks really nice. The pants, the bandages, even the helmet looks okay. The anatomy needs a little bit of work. Like I think the wrists here get a little bit too thin, and the skin looks a little bit too shiny. Kind of like if he was either sweating or covered in some sort of oil or something. It's very cool that you can present this with what's the word, with movement. That's always handy to make sure that it deforms nicely. But yeah, anatomy needs a little bit of work on your like male characters. Also the female characters, like this Raven from Teen Titans, it's a little bit on the uncanny side of things. Proportions are a little bit off, like her arms are way too short, her hands are way too small, her legs are way too long, and the face needs a little bit of work as well, because I think it's a little bit too big. So this face looks a lot better. Stylized Gamora. Yeah, this is not bad. I like this one. Head studies are fine, but you need to show a full character as well. This one looks very nice. It actually reminds me of the rigs that they sometimes share. It has a sort of like cartoon vibe to it. Maybe change this shirt from clay to like actual shirt, actual cloth, because it looks a little bit like funky there. This one looks really nice. You're really good at environments. I know that you want to be a character artist, but you're actually really good at environments. So that's nice. I've seen renders of this house as well. Okay, these proportions look a little bit better. Like the hands, the arms, everything. It looks a little bit closer to what I would expect. This is your concept though. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. You can do a concept and then and execute it. Yeah, I mean, I think you're in a really good shape, man. But I definitely would suggest you do a full character, like male study and female study, because you definitely you can definitely do like armor and robot things and alien things. Like this one's also good. But we need to see the like traditional male anatomy. So I always recommend like doing like a Tarzan or doing like an Indian or doing like an Amazon warrior or something. Things like that are always quite fun to do for anatomy. Cool. Let's go now with Sayak. Almost done. Almost done. Hi, I'm Mr. Jack. I'm currently in my second year and I want to be a 3D modeler or 3D generalist. Here's my portfolio. It says, sir, could you suggest to me things that should I have in my portfolio? I'm currently working in a Japanese classroom environment in Blender, currently doing the build render of it and doing the post-processing in DaVinci Resolve. I also have a question. So how relevant are degrees in this gaming industry? Does having a master's degree help me getting jobs that I have? No. Well, in my experience, no, it doesn't. However, one thing that they do help, if you eventually want to go into teaching, most universities will expect you to have the title, one title above the like degree that you're going to be teaching. So if you want to teach in high school, you need to have a diploma, like a career diploma. If you want to teach in a university, you need to have a master's. So that's the kind of stuff that you might encounter, and that's more about bureaucracy than actual like talent. For instance, I've mentioned this before. I only have my certificate from Noman, my 3-year study up there. It's not a degree. Like here in Mexico, I don't have a degree technically. But that doesn't mean that universities are not hiring me. They know that my talent is there and that I have the experience. So that's all they care about. I do face a little bit of bureaucracy every now and then, where like certain like documents need to be signed or something, and I need some sort of like a backup person that's gonna be helping me. But it's just it's just part of the things that you're gonna have to deal with. Cool. Okay. This looks nice. So the Japanese classroom, which is the one that you showed me on the PDF, looks really nice. Really clean. That's a nice effect for the camera. Maybe a little bit too much depth of field on the front here, but other than that, it's fine. Now, careful with this kind of shots, okay? Careful with this kind of shots. The first shot that you showed was really cool, and these two shots that you're showing now, they're what I call, and a teacher used to call them, impossible shots. This is fine. This shot's perfectly fine. Why are they impossible shots? You need to think about how a real camera would move in the real world, right? You're either gonna have like a dolly or like a little cart moving the camera around. So you always need to find movements that make sense. This is perfectly fine. You're just moving the camera up and down, right? Some of them like moving that. But the next one that you're gonna see, the camera is actually like flying through the classroom. And it's flying and it's rotating a little bit in a weird way. So that's it is a movement that you can do, but I don't think it really benefits the composition that you have. I would keep like the soft, nice elements. I think the color correction that you did here was a little bit too strong. Like I'm seeing a lot of the sort of like a blue tint, and I really like this render. It's a little bit cleaner, but that's just my personal preference. Okay, you do have some variations here on color. Yeah, this is a nice project. Great project. This is great. I do think I've seen this tutorial before though. And then these are the ones that I'm a little bit... Environment concept art. Is this photo bash? Or kid bash? Okay, it is a kid bash. Interesting. Yeah, it's a nice piece of concept art. I mean, I can definitely see this as a piece of concept art. It's a 3D concept art though, because of the elements. It's very nice that you can show how to do AOVs, because if you want to go into compositing, which kind of feels like that's one of the areas of interest for you, that's pretty nice. Yeah, this look like, I mean, they look really nice, but once you start like analyzing them, you know that these are just like studies, right? Like how long does this take? Probably not that long, right? Probably 1 day, 2 days, 3 days maybe. Which is fine, but again, as I've mentioned about exercises, I might not add all of them inside of my element, in my my portfolio. The sword looks fine. I think that's the sword from Lord of the Rings. It looks very close to Sting, and but the render needs to work. I would just don't do this crazy sort of like a depth of field or like a focal length thing. Just keep a nice clean render around the sword, and you're gonna be fine. Because yeah, it looks a little bit too. It's a little bit too much. Yeah, something like this. Just keep it clean for an object like this. Just keep it clean like this. I would recommend. It's a really nice model. Clean textures as well. Looks good. Cool. Yeah, yeah. You're in a really good position as well, my friend. Make sure to add. You did ask what other things you might add. I can definitely see that you will like props and environments. I would add a sci-fi environment. That's important, and probably like a fantasy environment because you have a lot of like modern stuff. So all of this is like modern or semi-modern. So trying to do a fantasy like a cabin in the woods or something, or like a castle, something that you find interesting, and then like a sci-fi corridor or like sci-fi station or something that would give you like enough range on your styles as well. Nice. Let's go now with Manish Dubai. Hi Abraham, I hope you're having a great week. I am. A lot of work, but it's a great week. First, thanks for the action hair course. It really helped me. Oh, well, that's not the action hair course. That's the hair for games. We do cover a little bit of action, but we're eventually going to have a more like focused action course later on. I'm Manish. I'm a 3D character artist. This is my first time submitting my portfolio for review. I'm really stuck on how to achieve likeness in my 3D models. Okay, let's see. Hey, not bad, not bad. I can see the improvement. That's one of the first things I see whenever I see a portfolio. So since you're a character artist, I'm gonna skip like this treasure, which looks really nice, and this goat, and let's focus on the characters. And I'm gonna focus on some of the recent ones. So this one's pretty cool. I mean, it definitely seems like you do know your stuff around the sculpting, because you're doing some nice renders and nice, yeah, the topology is fine. It's a little bit dense over here. We'll probably simplify some triangles. Yeah, see, I don't do a lot of likeness. It's not like most of the projects that I get, to be honest. So I would again recommend the course where they do like the Anthony Hopkins character. But you do have a really nice grasp in anatomy. There's a couple of these guys that look a little bit on the uncanny valley, or the renders look a little bit outdated, like this guy's down here. Like this one right here. Hopefully we don't get flagged by YouTube. Yeah, she's in the uncanny valley side of things, so she looks a little bit weird, a little bit scary. I would probably take her out. This one looks a lot better. Like the hair, that looks really, really nice. Is that action? Kind of looks like it. That looks nice. The skin looks a little bit better. A little bit too much subsurface. I would probably reduce it, but the proportions and the eyes, they're looking a little bit better from the other ones. So my best advice is to, sorry about my dog, probably someone at the door. My best advice is grab a character or an artist, female and male, but someone that doesn't have like a super specific face, a little bit more generic if you wish. Because when we go for like really specific characters, it gets a little bit tricky, and I would recommend practicing first with a character that's a little bit easier to achieve. One that I can like recommend right away is, for instance, Schwarzenegger, right? Schwarzenegger. There we go. He has this very identifiable face, but there's a lot of wrinkles and stuff, so it's, I would say it's a little bit easier to match this. Give me just 1 second, guys. I need to see who is at the door. Sorry about that. So yeah, try to do someone that's like easy to find a lot of reference for. So again, this guy, very strong face, very easy to find like the planes of the face, and that could really help you with the likeness, because I can see that you know your way around ZBrush, like the way that you're like creating all of this like details and stuff. But we need to work a little bit more on forms and proportions, because again we're falling a little bit into this uncanny valley sort of style, and the only way to get out of that is practice. And you don't need to upload everything. For instance, like this Ninja Turtles, again, they're a little bit on the scary side of things, so I would probably take them out of my portfolio, because they're not at the level that you might want to have them. Okay, so yeah, that's that one. Thank you very much, my friend Manish, and let's go now to, did this change? Oh yeah, this changed. There we go. I was like, wait, we're getting closer to the finish line. Well, what's going on here? Liav Della. I watch and follow you from Ghana, West Africa. Wow, that's nice. I want to be a prop artist for games and be playing with some products renders as well. I'm not that good. I need your reviews. Much love. Let's take a look. I love when people are really shy and they're like, I'm not really that good. Dude, this is amazing. This is really nice. I know what you mean. This is a great, nice, clean model. Yeah, that's a nice model, and all of these models are really nice. I guess probably like I'm not really like well studied about your country or your region, so I'm not sure how much 3D work there is out there. But you definitely have the level. Like this is perfectly fine work for like a prop artist. Like no problems at all. Yeah, I mean this is really good, man. This is really good. Oof, look at that. Nice curvature, nice flow in the topology. Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can say, my friend. Maybe the same, like the same thing I've always tell people about, like the metal etchwork. You don't want it everywhere, so mask a couple of areas here and there so that it's not as obvious that you're using that generator. But like the amount of polygons, like everything is, it's great. It's great. Yeah, I mean, if I could suggest something, is if you can add more stuff, add more stuff about this. Add maybe like a motorcycle or like a car, a little like a robot, maybe like something a little bit more complex. Because I mean, this is it's great. It's looking great, but it's very common to do this sort of things. It's sort of like weapons and stuff. So I would probably go for something a little bit more complex, something more unique. And your yeah, I mean, your portfolio is really good, man. So yeah, not much to say. Just keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, my friend. Okay. That was Chris Liav, Della. Let's go with Assad Patel. Hi Abraham, I'm Assad Patel. I submitted my portfolio last time, but it's been a while and a lot of things have changed. This time I'm focused on making my portfolio close to resemble my actual skills. Okay, let's take a look. Yes, I do remember. I remember some of this work. Okay, so there's a lot of things. What I mean by this is I'm seeing environments, I'm seeing props, and from what I can tell, is this animation? Is rigging? Oh, it's rigging. Okay. Okay. Let's move forward a little bit. Oh, nice. It's a nice. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a little bit more advanced rigging than what I teach. I'm not a rigger myself, but it definitely seems like you are going for that sort of like a technical artist kind of thing. There's a couple of this props that I would probably take out of the whole process. Like I would leave all of the rigs. If you are looking for rigging work, I will definitely leave all of the rings. Retopology, not really necessary. I remember this cake. That's a nice one. This one, if you already have one of this, probably like take this one out. Same for like this one. You already have this one over here, which is very close to this one. So take some of them out. You don't want to clutter your portfolio as much. You only want to have the things that are gonna get you the job. So maybe for instance, this. What is this? Like another rigging. Is this a rigging thing? Yeah, this is a rigging. Okay. See, I would probably take this one out just because if I know that you can rig Boss Lightyear and Wally and stuff, I know that you could rig that one. So unless you're gonna show like textures and render and all that stuff and really make it shine, it's probably not gonna help you as much. Same for this box right here. So my best advice for you, Assad, you're in a really good position. Hopefully, you're already working somewhere. It kind of seems like you are. But if not, hopefully you get a job very, very soon because you definitely have the skills that I would be looking for in someone. But make sure to only have here what you're going to be using the most, which again, rigging, some environment, some product placement, and be very self-conscious about what things really don't make the cut. Like this chair right here. Is this a nice chair? Yes, this is a really nice model chair. Do you want to be a chair modeler or a 3D modeler? If not, then probably not the piece that we might want to have on our portfolio. Okay, so yeah, good job, my friend. Keep up the good work. Let's go with Shivali. I think you've submitted before as well. It says, sir, this is third submission. Yes, currently studying practice work. Okay, let's take a look. Nice, yeah. So in the first portfolio review or in the last portfolio review, I mentioned this to someone, like try doing an alleyway, like a Japanese alleyway or Chinese alleyway or whatever, because there's a lot of very interesting stuff that you can practice with. That one looks really nice. I like that one, my friend. This one needs a little bit more work. It doesn't feel unified. It doesn't feel like things belong to where they are. It just feels like a lot of pieces like placed together. Lighting is definitely one of the issues. Like the camera that you're using, maybe a little bit of depth of field that could also work. And check the scales. Like this looks like a really, really small plane. But I think it should be a little bit bigger because it barely looks like it could fit someone in there. The modeling also needs a little bit more work. There's a lot of very simple props, and since I'm not seeing like a reflection here in the barrels, it looks a little bit like it kind of looks like you're missing an HDR or something. This one, it's a nice exercise. I wouldn't add it on my portfolio. This one, it's a nice portfolio piece. I think this one is very, very useful. You're doing great, my friend. Keep up the good work. That's some good submissions right there. Let's go with Chirok Maheshwari. So complicated last name to pronounce. Let's take a look at the text file. Hello, Abraham. I am Chirag. I want some suggestions for a project I'm working on in Blender. It is a gun scope model to be used as a game asset. Okay. I want to know how do we guess, make a rough approximation about the number of triangles poly count of our final low poly mesh must have for such a model. Say it's a AAA game asset. My model trace count is 13,458. Is this fine? That's fine. It will always depend on the game. The best way you can see if you're like in the range, because it's never an exact number. Right? People are not gonna say like you need to have 10,000 or otherwise it doesn't work. It's not like that. You want to keep it low enough that it looks nice, but high enough that it gets a nice silhouette. The best way you can check this out is try to investigate, do some research about like current games like Call of Duty or Battlefield, and see roughly how many polygons they have. And as long as you're in that same range, then you're gonna be fine. I have just completed the modeling stage. Any other suggestions are welcome so that I can implement them now before complete the UVs and move to texturing. Please suggest what you should be a proper best workflow to model such assets so that I can reduce the time in the taking into model such things. Have a nice day. Let's take a look. Nice. Yeah. That's the low poly. Oh, wow. Okay, you did the attachment, and the attachment has 13,000 polygons. Okay, yeah, that's way too much. I mean, I know why you need that many, or why you're trying to get that many, but it's way too much. Like, because that means that the gun and everything else is gonna be like 100,000, and that's not what you want. That would be way too many. So all of this I would keep. Like all of this silhouette right here, you need that to get like the nice scope effect. But for instance, the buttons right here, like I can see these buttons right here. Those could be lowered down to like 12-sided cylinders or something. Same here, like this guys right there. See that's way too many faces for such a simple detail. You could reduce that to again like 10-sided faces, and you would get a lot less triangles. So yeah, we definitely need to find a couple places where we can minimize. Not everywhere. You're probably gonna bring this down hopefully to about 8,000 triangles, or if you can go all the way to 7,000 triangles, that would be really good. But yeah, like see those bevels that you have right there? That's a bevel that you added. Simplify that bevel. Have 2 sides instead of 3. So try to work around with those ones. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. They're doing some work here at the house, and since this is a long recording session, I need to take some pauses. So yeah, I thought you meant when with this guy that the 14,000 was for the whole gun. 13 is a little bit high for this. I mean, it's gonna look amazing. Don't get me wrong, but we can definitely change. Like this one right here, this circle. I'm not sure if it's like 32 sides or something. Maybe reduce it down to 20, 24, something like that. Every single like loop on a circle that you can take away, that's gonna simplify the amount of triangles, because this is a little bit too much. I can see also like a bevel up there. You definitely want to reduce that bevel. It's a nice process. I mean, you did a great job here with this one. You could also keep it like this, and I mean, it's not gonna destroy the whole thing, right? But it's a little bit dense. It's a little bit dense on the triangle side of things. So yeah, just check that one out, my friend. Maybe reduce it if you can. Get it sub 10K, and I think you're gonna be in a better position because you are wasting a little bit of triangles here and there. But yeah, that looks nice. And I think that's it, right? Yeah. Last but not least, Ahmad Hassan. No, wait, I already saw yours, right, Ahmad? Yeah, we saw that one. Who did I miss then? Oh, sorry. Alexander Desbordes. Hi. Hello, my name is Alexander. I started learning 3D 2 years ago. I would love to have your opinion on my work. Thank you for helping me. You are welcome. Let's see. Nice. Okay, you're from France. Oh, that means we get a lot of French students. Nice. Okay, so model-wise, I mean, it's Lego. It's perfect. It looks great. The models look really nice. but the rendering needs more work, and I think you can do it. I've shown some like lighting scenarios or lighting things that you can do inside of Maya to improve it, because right now there's not a lot of contrast on the lights. Again, just a basic 3-point light setup, and that should be more than enough. I think that one will work very nice. This looks very fun. Mario Pinball. Nice. I like it. Again, lighting can get a little bit better. Right now it just seems like a general, like just one light. I don't see an HDR, especially I always can tell because of the metals. Metals start looking a little bit weird. Some of the models could get a little bit more work, like the pipes right here. Like the materials, I think the materials look a little bit flat in general. So I will probably work on those. Did you? I did the bomb. Did I did the bomb for you guys? I did the bomb as an exercise a couple of years ago, but I don't remember if it's one of your tutorials. Alice's rabbits. This is a little bit better texture work, but again, the lighting is killing you, my friend. You need to improve your light scenario because your models are okay, the textures are nice. I mean, you have a good composition, but the light is what's missing. I'll see if I can do some sort of like light little class for Mondays, because that's I think the area that you're missing the most. Same here, light and materials are the part that you need to improve, because you do have some nice models and nice compositions, but the light is not as pretty as it could be. And light is one of those things. It's kind of like the final ingredient, or like the secret ingredient to push a work from good to amazing. So try to review some of that stuff. I do have some tutorials here on the channel, so make sure to check them out, and hopefully you can give this guys another pass, because they're really good. Just need a little bit more punch there. And that's it. 1 hour 10 minutes. This is definitely the longest portfolio review we've had so far, but I would like to thank every single person that submitted this month. It was an amazing experience. I mean, it's so many submissions this time around. I'm guessing probably for June we're not gonna have as many submissions, but that's fine. We'll see how we can work this out. But yeah, I mean, this is looking great, my guys. Thank you very much, everyone, for your submissions. Thanks for following the channel. Thanks for sticking around. Make sure to leave comments, things that you might want to see on the channel, things that you want us to improve, courses that you might want to watch later on, and I'll be happy to take all of those suggestions into account. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.